Hello everyone, we're back with some more Ark Nova replay analysis. We're not actually live today. There was a massive storm here a couple of days ago and we don't actually have internet, so I can't stream. So I pre-recorded this video and hopefully you still enjoy. The first game we're going to look at is one that I played yesterday on Rescue Station. And if you've seen the title of this video, this is exactly why Rescue Station should be banned from Arena. The projects are Asia, Americas and Herbivores. Our end goals are architectural and climbing park. Not actually too bad. The map's not the most difficult to fill. Being able to dig stuff makes climbing park a lot easier because you basically get 3 extra animals than you normally would. Having said that, there's not a whole lot in our opening hand. There's some okay things. Penguin Pool as the sort of most powerful sponsor I'm always going to keep. Even though there are no other birds in this hand and there's no birds as one of the projects, birds are just very strong. The Rhino also has some upside being a herbivore itself and having a rock icon, as well as just giving another project. Something like species diversity is very easy to hit on this map. And then Sumatran Tiger because it has the Asia symbol, and Boa Constrictor because it has the Americas symbol, but none of these animals are playable in the first round unless I go crazy. And our opponent's first player, and immediately we see the American Bison on display. And being first player, they have initiative to dig this up. And this is why it's ridiculous. This map just hands you and your opponents conservation points for free. Their first move is, of course, going to be digging up the Bison. They're not the highest rated opponent, but still very, very clear to see how much benefit this gives. Gives you 2 Americas tags straight away, so they can already support a round 1 project if they want to. And it's a herbivore for that project, and any big herbivore they find, like a kangaroo or a moose, they can just flock to it without needing an enclosure at all. So just ridiculous. What this means for my plans this round is there's no way I'm going to be able to put Penguin Pool down. I need to break 5 really. Because when your opponent threatens a round 1 project, you really can't let them get away with it. First, I'm gonna... Yeah, the other thing on display was the eagle, so we're gonna draw that up. Goes well with Penguin Pool, and it's another rock icon for our potential climbing park. The display doesn't refresh there, but I'm pretty sure it's the ibex coming out next. Opponent X's out animals, which is a little weird, but it tells me that they nearly 100% have a strength 6 sponsor that they want to play. Because I still want a short round, I just take hand size. There's a lot of cards that I do want to keep here, particularly Penguin Pool, Eagle, Rhino are the 3 that I definitely want to keep, and I don't mind keeping the Tiger and the Boa Constrictor. The opponent throws down Cable Car, and as I said, there is an ibex here. It's either ibex or geological, but they both come up next. You just can't see the next 2 cards because of the replay bug, but those are the next 2 cards, ibex and geological project. So they place down their cable car, they draw engineer, fine. Which means my next move has to be building an enclosure. I decide to build a size 4 for the Rhino as it's probably my first playable animal out of all these. And I dig away the ibex from the display. This, of course, reveals another rock icon, also fits Asia, pretty interesting. The opponent builds a size 2 to dig away another thing, so very lucky that I got the ibex away before them, but it also works out for me because of climbing park and the herbivore project. And they just decide to dig away the grizzly bear for their 3rd American icon. What that tells me is that they're not interested in supporting Americas at 2. So I probably could have got away with taking like the 2-rep uni and playing Penguin Pool, but I still think it's better to just close out the round as quickly as possible. So we decide to break 5. Can't play Penguin Pool right now anyway because of the 3 reputation requirement. The opponent takes the 2-rep uni. And I can't play any animal right now. because I don't have the science or the money to play the Rhino. So just decide to cause the break by drawing cards. Yeah, I don't mind drawing cards because I don't mind getting rid of the Boa Constrictor. There's like no chance I'm going to beat the opponent to America's 5, and then America's 2 doesn't matter that much. Pretty good draws though, I have to say. I would be fine keeping all of this hand, but I have to get rid of 2 cards. So I think the Tiger and the Boa Constrictor is what I get rid of. Ornithologist also looking interesting from the display, as well as this Primate, as well as Geological. Opponent's first move is to snap up Geological, which, yeah, makes a lot of sense when they already have 2 rocks. And of course, Coty gets revealed, another America with a rock. Just take the other uni. This makes Penguin Pool playable now, as well as give, well, animals upgrade first, and then animals into another upgrade. The opponent plays a raccoon for their 4th America's icon. Thankfully for me, they don't have another animal, but pretty useful to boost their association up to get their other university. Upgrading build next makes sense, and at this stage I'm still concerned that they could support a project like Geological. So I decided to play the monkey in this size 4 enclosure instead. It matches with the Asia, it takes away a rock from them, and I think most importantly it has the jumping ability, and I still want kind of short rounds at this stage. Even though I don't mind playing 2 sponsors, if they're going to support a project, I want to get out of the round pretty quickly. Of course, another rock icon gets displayed. They just decide to take the university. So now I don't mind going into a bit of a longer round because they've spent their worker. Like, I have a full build action I can do. My idea right now was to sort of build a nice centralized kiosk, but also be able to place Penguin Pool so that I can, in the same turn, draw Ornithologist as well as dig away one of these rock icons, but probably the Coty. Opponent plays Geologist because of course they do. Gives them 5 instant points, sorry. As well as quite a bit of money because they're going to build around rocks for the next couple of enclosures. So Penguin Pool now to go ahead with that plan. Draw Ornithologist, dig away the Coty. Don't reveal anything too exciting, thankfully. Because I already have a lot of cards, I think my next action is going to be snapping up the Tarsier. Opponent is thankfully far away from this digging at the moment, so they can't dig away their 5th America's icon just yet. This is snapping the Tarsier. And it's going to be a really tough decision coming up because I want to keep every card in this hand, but my opponent's probably about to cause the break. Yeah, now they definitely are, because of course we reveal another America's Herbivore with a rock icon, which they snap up while causing the break. I mean, perfect snap for them. They already have size 2s touching rock as well ready for it. I decided to get rid of the Cobra. I think you can make a lot of arguments for getting rid of other things. The Tarsier I definitely want to keep because it will allow me to grab the Asia Partner Zoo and play it and get a second worker in this round, as well as the jumping ability. Although going through quick rounds is probably not what I want right now, but the 2 reputation gives me a second worker. I always want to keep the Eagle and the Rhino, so the question would be, do you get rid of one of these monsters instead of the Cobra to hypnotize later? And it's very likely that my opponent will remain ahead in appeal, because they have more money, they have more income, and they have Cable Car giving them a lot of extra appeal. But I just decided I want to keep these two sponsors too much. Asia Partner Zoo. My opponent plays the Tapir. I forget what they dig up here. This is their 5th America's icon anyway, as well as their 4th rock icon. Yeah, they just dig from their hand. They dig Science Lab away, which is kind of interesting. It tells me that they're definitely not planning on upgrading sponsors. Otherwise, I think Science Lab is a pretty good pick for them because they're going to get to 5 conservation points first and get this university. This is just a Tarsier. So getting a second worker now is nice, but I'm so far away from completing like any meaningful project. I can support 2 Asia now. I think it would be better for me to support 4 because I'm already at 3. So their first reward is 5 income. They decide to upgrade Association. And actually, instead of taking the university, they take drawing 3 cards from the deck. They did it because they mainly want this rock icon with the Taipan. But otherwise, I think university is just always better. Even though this one doesn't give a conservation point, just having the science available is extremely useful. Plus, they also don't know that I need the 3rd university for Technology Institute anyway, so it's a bonus for me. I expect they're going to cause the break, so I do play Tech Institute now. So I'll at least get some X tokens if they cause the break, which they do. It makes sense for them to do that when I haven't spent my second worker. But right now they have a 19 point lead, they have an 8 income lead, and they have a money lead. This display is looking very good for me though. Oh, and they're going to reach this 10 money first as well on 8 conservation points. So there are 2 main things I want here. The first is I want to draw native seabirds from the display, so I need to cover this. But the second is that I also need... Well, I also want to dig away this giant panda. Firstly, so they don't play it at any stage. And secondly, because it gives me my 4th Asia icon, so I actually need to build 8 here to do both those things. Well, at least I think I need to build 8. That's what I do anyway. We draw native seabirds. I guess I could have got away with the build 7 if I just went around this way. But I like this kiosk spot anyway. And the main reason is I want to build a size 4 enclosure for the rhino, because I'm ready to play that. We dig away the panda. So that's all the digs done. Opponent decides to build 6. They have a ton of money. They build a size 1 and a size 5. And take the little sunbathing reptile. Of course, another rock icon gets put in the display. I'm very tempted to snap it up, but I don't think it's worth a snap. I also don't think America release is worth a snap, because they can't release their bison. They can only release sort of mediocre animals here. So I just draw from the deck. Nothing too amazing though. This is America's, but getting to America's 2 is easy enough already, so don't have a use for it right now. Baboon Rock, I guess, can also go, but it'll go eventually anyway. The opponent does think the reptile's worth snapping up, so they do. Leaving Breeding Cooperation. This is where I support Asia 4, and decide to snap that up. Upgrade sponsors now. I think there are a couple of main reasons. First being that I feel like this is not an association upgrade game because I don't have the money to donate. My income is very, very low right now. I also basically already have all the universities and like one more partner zoo and I'm done. And then secondly, I have a ton of sponsors that I want to get out here. Elephant gets revealed. The opponent plays New Zealand fur seal. Another rock gives them another worker, and they play the taipan. Also gave them the Australia to play the taipan. So that is their 6th rock for cable car, and I'm kind of jealous sitting over here with my own climbing park. Oh yeah, the other reason that I wanted to build over this way was for native seabirds, so I've got that pretty maxed out. But I think, even though I can play seabirds right now, I've decided to play ornithologist first, because I need the extra 3 money this is going to give. To play the rhino in particular. Opponent puts down geological, they now have that maxed out. Thankfully I can copy that and get a decent reward from it, so it's not like the worst thing. They decide to snap America release for projects to do later. And I think another mistake, they take 2 rep instead of 10 money. Like, money is still important for them. I don't think they particularly need to care about reputation because they don't have cards upgraded and they don't have any partner zoo. And their last upgrade needs to come from getting 2 partner zoos, so the reputation's kind of dead weight for them right now. So even though I can max out architectural, my opponent's at 43 points, so I think it's more likely it's just safer to keep climbing park, because I'm already going to play a 5th rock guaranteed anyway. They donate, of course. So now the situation is they're at 46 points to my 8 points. I have a bit of money left over, but their income lead is 30 to 19 right now. And I can't even play animals yet. I just have to X out build, because in order to play animals, I need to grab the Africa partner zoo so I can afford to play this 9-point rhino. The opponent takes a little build action so they can dig away the elephant. This gives them a 3rd herbivore. I think in their position, I like causing the break. They build another size one. This is for the little rock reptile that they have. So they still have their 2 reptiles, but they can't afford to play anything right now. I grab Africa partner zoo, upgrade cards. I think their plan is that they want to get a partner zoo before causing the break. That is what they do here. But it gives me some time to play animals. They grab Europe. I assume just for their little reptile. With the rhino, taking species is just safe. Can't really block my opponent from copying any project. It's just too hard to do on this map. Now they cause the break. Playing the rhino also gets me exactly on 25 appeal, which means native seabirds is playable. That'll be my next action. I think my opponent should have been tracking a bit more carefully, because they snap up native farm animals, which is not playable for them. It is playable for me, but they should also know that I have native seabirds. I guess the argument for that is I could have played it just to get the herbivore icon. I take large animals away, because these animals also count for large, so they have this maxed out. I think if they take large animals, it's much better for them. Native seabirds gives me 10 points, so catching up a little bit. I'm still down money and 19 points, although I do have a 5 CP project coming in. And they left me like the best 2 rewards here on the track. Opponent just draws cards from the deck. Even though I have species right now, which would get me the 10 money instantly, I just want to support Geological in case it disappears, because I know that they have America's release, and then if I put species diversity out there, they probably kick Geological off the row. But it just gets me the University for now, which is an endgame CP here. And I take the worker reward. But I think at this stage, I have nothing else to do with 1 worker, so having 3 is important so I can support 2 projects each round. The opponent just takes their second partner zoo so they can finally upgrade cards and then play animals. It's a little bit slow, but they are donating at the same time. Don't think there's anything too interesting in the display. Research is an okay first grab. Also makes that uni grab a lot better. Tapir is great for the herbivore tag. Koala is nice for the rock icon as well, but it's not playable right now, and I don't have time to be playing all of these. Also grabbed the little Sunbather to get me some extra money, because I have a lot of cards but not a lot of money. And it puts the shoe bill in range, which is something I'm interested in as well. The opponent gets to 10 reputation and just draws from the deck. I think they should have taken away the shoe bill. With that America Partner Zoo, they buy the Scarlet Macaw. Also not the biggest fan of putting down a kiosk at this stage of the game when they're on 50 whatever points. And also kind of surprising that they played the Sunbather instead of the... I guess it's not that surprising, they also have a lot of cards. They still have their little rock reptile to go in there. Time to build an aviary, because this eagle will need to be played before the end of the game. Also nice that a flamingo appears. Like, all these birds showing up is good for like the penguin pool or ornithologist combo that I've going. And that was the reason that my opponent built a kiosk, because they have a casual 8-point expert on the Americas in their hand, just in case my situation couldn't get any worse. So now they're at 66 points to my 33. They have a 40 income to my 25. Drawing the shoe bill from range is nice. Yeah, play the little Sunbather. Expert Enlarge is okay, I just don't think I have time to play it right now. And then also not going to need all of these projects, so I definitely don't want to be throwing out large animals for them. The Tapir comes down as well, have just enough money from the sunbathing to do both. This does get me the 5th herbivore tag, because I still have breeding cooperation to come down. Yeah, mainly just dig away things to put the flamingo in range, or make it a bit cheaper. Opponent just supports Asia at 2. And I actually take the 2 rep bonus, but I think in this position, yeah, I wonder why they took the 2 rep actually. I think size 2 is a lot better if they want to potentially fill up their map, but also just to give enclosures tempo for enclosure building. Even 12 money at this stage I think is worth it. Saving the work is fine. Here I decide to spend 1x so I can do breeding, co-op, and water playground at the same time. Also gives the 1 reputation bonus here that I haven't got yet. As well as 4 points. So I get the X token back basically. And breeding co-op is enough for herbivores 5. Opponent builds a size 4. They get extra money from geologists as well. So I think throwing down another kiosk here makes the most sense, so they can go for 5 expert on America's bonus. But they throw down another size 1. I'm not sure what it's for exactly. This is herbivores, and I decide to take size 2s because I already have... Well, ideally I want to play this flamingo. But also covering the clever right now is useful. Can clever down build because I just don't have money to be building. And I already have enclosures for the next 2 animals at least, which is eagle and shoebill. And it'll also allow me to grab this X token here in the last round. There'll definitely be one more round. So I think it does make sense here for the opponent to cause the break. But instead they play Polar Bear Exhibit. Which, I mean, it's fair enough. They get a bonus CP from it already. That's their 3rd bear. They cover their X, they fill their map a bit more. And yeah, they also get 2 appeal from it straight away. This gives me a bit of time to do some other things. Draw the flamingo, although the hornbill is very playable as well. And now I think they get a bit distracted. They see this meerkat den, and they grab 2 rep to go and get it. It's understandable because it does give them their 4th herbivore tag. But I assume they still have a project, which is America release, which just gives them something to support. And they don't need much to cross to 100 points here. And they should do it pretty quickly. This does give me enough time to play 2 animals, though. I have just enough money to play shoebill and the flamingo. And both being birds give me a lot of extra points here. So all of a sudden I'm catching up a bit. It's 83 to 75. Plus I do have an eagle in hand and another playable animal as well. The only thing I don't have is X tokens to do all this. Well, actually, no, I do. That's a lie, I do, because I have Tech Institute. The opponent X's out cards, presumably so they can play Meerkat Den. And I decide staying in this round is not going to be any... It's not going to get any better for me, so just decide to cause the break. Discard. This is where luck is completely on my side. Sun Bear is probably the only animal that could save me here. The downside is it gives the opponent 2 points, but the upside is Eagle and Sun Bear, and I have the size 2 to play the Sun Bear. And I already have the Asia Partner Zoo. Like, that's the only thing that is potentially going to get me a win here. So now I actually have a path to cross this turn, I think, which is to spend all my X tokens. Yeah, I can even afford to spend X tokens on animals 5. Play Sun Bear Eagle, and then do 2 association actions. My opponent plays animals straight away, and Plays the bald eagle, so of course they have the third animal that gives determination. And what size one are they playing? They play the little reptile. So this size one is a mistake, I think. If that had been a kiosk instead, and then they get an extra expert on the Americas CP, because right now they only have 4 kiosks. That would have been a lot better for them. That does get them their 7th rock, though. And I think it makes complete sense for them to end the game here. Yeah, of course they America release, but they actually make a huge mistake here. Getting rid of Raccoon is probably the worst animal they could have got rid of. It only gives 5 points, whereas the eagle gives +7. But they also lose their 3rd bear icon for polar bear exhibit, so I can't explain why out of all the animals they chose to get rid of this. Getting rid of tapir or macaw or the eagle is just better than this. That does trigger the end of the game though. And they get 2 rep as well. And donate, so they finish on 112. Sorry, they finished on 114 because I'm about to give them a bear. But yeah, I do have the X tokens to do animals at 5 to get this conservation point into Eagle Sun Bear. Eagle very nicely giving me the 6th bird for Penguin Pool. And then with the first association, can grab 3 X tokens. So species diversity, it's a shame I don't have a 5th research icon, but getting 3 is nice anyway. And getting the 2 reputation from the reward here. What is also allowed was for Breeding Corporation to give me an extra conservation point. Otherwise, I was only supporting 4 projects. So this Sun Bear has made the game sort of competitive. I do have bonus points from Tech Institute, Penguin Pool, Breeding Co-op, as well as 3 from Climbing Park. My opponent has Geologist and Cable Car, but not Polar Bear Exhibit or Expert on the Americas. And they have 4 from Favorite Zoo. And somehow, miraculously, it's a win. However, I will say it's only a win because they released the Raccoon. If they release the Eagle instead, they keep their endgame point from this, as well as get 2 bonus points from the better release. So they would beat me by 1. And then if they also built the kiosk instead of the size 1, they beat me by another 3, so they beat me by 4 points. This is the game they should have won. But it was all started from this ridiculous first dig. And I don't know what you're meant to do to be able to compete with this. It's not only the American bison, there are plenty of animals that do the same, like the elephant when there's Asia, any bear icon when there's species diversity, a dugong when there's Australia, a cheetah when there's predators. There are too many animals that give double tags. And the only reason I won is because my opponent made a mistake at the end of the game. They did, for the most part, play well. But it's just very easy to play well on that map. And with a rating difference of 400, like, I should be expected to beat this person. Is it going to show me the odds? 91% of the time. But this is just an unwinnable game on this map. So please, if you're an Arc Nova Guru, I encourage you to vote to get rid of this map for next arena season. I beg you. Second game today, we have our old friend Silver Lake. So this is unrelated to the title of the video, but it was a cool match anyway. We have Dwarven Time. We're looking at this from Dwarven Time's perspective against Umegef, who is a very strong rated player. They are first player. Dwarven's Time opening hand is pretty interesting. There's a few things going on here. The projects are Americas, Asia, and Europe, so we have the 3 continents. That makes small animals quite a good keep here, just for a different project to do. Meerkat Den as well, because you don't need like 3 or 4 playable animals in the first stage. End goals are naturalist and diverse. There's like a lot you could keep here. I think the bison for the double European tag makes a lot of sense. And then even like the tarsier makes sense for a quick 2 Asia, but also because it's a great early game animal. But then the raccoon also makes sense for a quick 2 Americas, as well as being a bear for diverse species. So maybe the pick is these 3 and not Meerkat Den, but I like Meerkat Den a lot as well. See what the picks are. Actually keeping the Agama out of everything. That surprised me a bit. Over the raccoon as well. I guess there are a lot of plans that you could do in the first round at Dwarven Time. Being second players, you have to react to what the opponent takes or doesn't take. So I like keeping the raccoon there for a quick Americas too. But you can also start with the Tarsier for a quick Asia too. And I guess in that case, it doesn't make sense to keep Meerkat Den because you're never starting with one of the universities to play it. Opponent just decides to start off with Hydrologist. Which is, yeah, great card on this map. It's not the best map for Hydrologist ever, but just makes it when you're building in the early game that you actually get money when you build. It is great for your tempo. Asia Partners do make sense to play the Tarsier. Opponent just draws from the deck. Nothing snappable here, it seems. Low mountain range, kind of scary. It is in range for both players. Not snapping up though, building over the money. Opponent actually starts in the top right corner to play a sponsor. And they play Bard Owl Hut. And then it makes sense to Perception first. And then they cover this, draw a card from range, and they take low mountain range. Which is scary. There are a lot of big birds that are nice to release. That is cheap and like easy to release as well. Never mind the replay bug here. Dwarven Time breaks 5. Breaking 5 is nice when you have a hidden Tarsier, and the opponent has to take an association action right now. Taking the hand size uni, of course, because Dwarven Time can cause the break. So, I mean, this is a good start. Getting the Tarsier out, causing the break before your opponent plays any animals. The Tarsier doesn't give a ton of income, so it's not like the biggest deal, but the 2-rep is very nice. You could also support 2 Asia. The more I think about these like mid projects, I kind of like pushing for 5 more, even though 2 does give like really good early tempo. That's why I would have been more inclined to start with the raccoon, because supporting 2 America you don't mind as much, because the best you can get is 3 conservation points instead of 2. But it feels bad going for 2 Asia when you probably are going to end up with 5 anyway and then not be able to support it. We'll see what Dwarven Time's plan is, though. Barn Owl, nice for the European tag. Opponent plays Engineer. In this position, I probably snap up Barn Owl, but I can totally see drawing from the deck. Pretty bad draws, though. Not gonna lie. I guess Emu the most unplayable out of them. Yeah, Mamba is actually playable because we already have the Agama. Opponent building a couple of size 2s. So they have 3 size 2s now. But like we were saying, they actually get money for placing them down with Hydrologist. Okay, this is just 2 Asia into second worker. Upgrading, yeah, I think here build makes the most sense because you want to build size 1 and 2 at least for these two guys. Opponent just drawing cards. A temporary replay bug. But that will disappear. They just drew 2 from the deck. Very, like, I don't know, that's sort of funny building placement to me. I would always put a kiosk next to the size 1 that's already covered. What's this? This is arcade, okay. Having a sponsor to play when you want a longer round, having a second worker makes a lot of sense. It's nice like having these two touching the kiosk as well, but I think if you put the kiosk up here, you could achieve that anyway. But then I guess you can't fit arcade next to it as well, so I should actually be taking notes. Yeah, you can put arcade in the corner there nicely. Yeah, so the opponent's association is at 4 right now. They're just going to take their other university. This will fix up the bug. Very annoying to see how many like replay bugs there are right now. They upgrade animals and build. Arcade comes down. Interested to see what the opponent's first animal is going to be. They've already played 3 sponsors. Rock Monitor's okay. They sell, I assume this is correct, so they sell 2 and then they have 1 card left. And they played the rare from the display. That's going to give them a couple of extra cards. 1 from Barn Owl Hut, 1 from the rare itself. Display looking pretty dead, like, apart from the Barn Owl, which I still think is very good value right now. This is going to be the Europe Partner Zoo into upgrading animals. Yeah, most likely the opponent's going to cause a break. They only had 1 card in hand before drawing the new one, so it's unlikely that they have a sponsor. And causing the break before Dwarven Time plays animals makes sense. I don't know, kind of even right now. There are some dead cards to get rid of here anyway. It would have been nice to sunbathe, of course. Lots of European guys coming. Yeah, I like playing the Barn Owl here. Barn Owl also combos really well into sunbathing. Reptile breeding, very nice. Makes the Chameleon like a much better play here than the sunbathing. Chameleon, you can also snap up the European links. So things are looking very nice. 2 projects to support. Small animals can come later, of course. Already at 5 Europe with the bison and lynx. And there's even more Europe in the display here. Opponent just takes Asia Partner Zoo. Yeah, you don't need to snap up any of the European icons, so I like just drawing from the deck. Not bad. Foreign Institute is nice because the reputation's lacking a bit. Yeah, the Bush Baby can go. It's not really playable right now. Opponent building and getting a ton of money doing so. Opponent also very close to their next worker from 8 rep. They're about to get it after their next animals action. I was a little bit surprised by this build action. I naturally assumed that like a size 5 was going to come down for the Bison, so you can support Europe 5 pretty quickly, but at the same time it's not really needed because I already have the next project, which is going to be reptile breeding, and then the Bison can come the turn after that, I guess. It's not like the opponent's going to win Europe anytime soon, but there is a mini race to this university at 8. That's the main reason I'd be pushing for one of these 5 projects. Opponent just draws from the deck. So Association already upgraded here. Means you can donate to get to 5 CP. I was thinking if you want to do Foreign Institute before this or not. Snaps up another European icon. No slow worm snap is sacrilege though. Wow, that's nearly unforgivable. Like, why the badger over the slow worm, huh? Decides to also put a multiplier on sponsors. The opponent then has an interesting choice. Do they play animals themselves, or do they just cause the break? Also, the bald eagle here is very nice, because Dwarven Time has snapping and the opponent doesn't. The opponent hasn't supported a project yet. They decide to play animals. Ooh, they throw down the Sun Bear. Okay, definitely worth them. Oh, this means they support their own project. They have low mountain range. Just releasing the rear right now. And they do take snapping to get this bald eagle. They also upgrade sponsors. Sorry, they upgrade sponsors. They don't also, they just upgrade sponsors. Yeah, okay. Playing animals makes... Even though it doesn't come with the reputation, playing animals to make use of these sunbathing cards does make a lot of sense. You can get rid of like basic research and maybe even Foreign Institute as deadweight cards. I don't mind that. The other option was going to be... So I was thinking you could break 5, then spend an X token to play Foreign Institute down. I don't know if it's worth it though. Yeah, opponent just causes the break. So Dwarven Time has a bit of a lead here. We know that the opponent has an eagle. That's about all we know right now. They also have first snapping. Migration looks really good for the opponent. With their eagle, they can release it again. Predator breeding makes sense. Of course, Dwarven Time knew it was coming, and that's why the badger over the slow worm. Just drawing from the deck, I guess hoping to hit a sponsor. Hits another European tag. Opponent throws down a size 5. Could be for the eagle. If you're going to release it anyway, it doesn't matter what size enclosure it goes into. Building a size 3 for the Lynx. Drawing Tech Institute so we can play it at sponsors 5. Also a size 1 for this grass snake, I guess. Or for the slow worm still, potentially. Opponent just draws from the deck. This is... Oh no, I remember. This is a really nice move. I love this move a lot. Starting with the 2 Science Uni. Dwarven Time knows that the opponent is about to play Migration Recording and probably play the Eagle and release it to get this uni first. But now they can't get this uni because they already have 2 and the third one that they need is gone. And on this map, you want to get 3 universities anyway. So it doesn't really matter which order you start them in. So I mean, that's a really strong move. On this map and with Tech Institute anyway, you want to get all 3. Opponent does play Migration. Tech Institute. The opponent knows there's no rush releasing the Eagle right now, so they just decide to get their last upgrade. Yeah, might as well grab the America's Partners to make the Eagle cheaper. Upgrade cards as well before playing animals, yep. Dwarven Time's going to play the Grass Snake and the Lynx. 5 is okay for Iconic. Obviously, you'd like the opponent to contribute a little bit, but there's a decent lead here and a decent income lead, 32 to 17. And being able to clever down cards is very nice at this stage. Having 10 money left to build fully as well. Opponent plays a Platypus. And the Eagle, so what are we going to see? Bard Owl Hut doing work again. Geologist, pretty nice. Now, Hydrologist and Geologist, with Engineer, highly incentivized to fill up the map. Basically get money from every single square from this point onwards, like apart from these border ones. Size 5 comes down. Doesn't necessarily have to be for the Bison. In fact, I'd say it's probably not going to be for the Bison, because Dwarven Time already has 5 Europe. I guess it would be for the Bison if you found a release project for it, but it could be for anything. Opponent just X's out cards, so they do want to support a project, probably going to be Eagle release. Predator breeding is enough to grab this university here, and taking size 2 makes sense. Cards is the last upgrade. Whilst the small is actually going to be like really nice tempo at the moment, I often underrate this card, but it's going to give 12 instant money, as well as allow Dwarven Time to stay in the round a bit longer. Like, it will be enough to play the Bison now, actually. This Venom has been very annoying. Opponent is going to support low mountain range. They take 5 income, so incomes have evened up a little bit. They also get 2 reputation. They get 5 money from the track as well. So diverse species, yeah, makes more sense than naturalist right now. So the opponent's already played Sun Bear and Eagle. Not a great time to play the Bison right now, though. The opponent's going to build 6. Okay, it's going to be Kiosk and Aviary. So they're either looking at the white stork or they have more birds in hand. But at this stage, say Dwarven Time is still well ahead. 10-point lead, income lead, plus still hasn't supported 5 Europe, so that's coming in. It's going to be cards here, one at a time. Nothing too exciting. Clever's always nice, especially when you have size 2s. Like, I'd always keep the monkey here. Llama could be flocked if the Bison gets played. Opponent does cards at 3. Just draws a couple. Doesn't snap the stork. Cobra's a good pickup. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like Dwarven Time will be under the opponent's appeal anytime soon. Just going to be the monkey that comes down. Gets to snap up the Caracal as well. Clevering down build. Yeah, not bad when you have size 2s. Just the main thing is it puts association back at the top. It's like the next move, if the opponent doesn't cause the break now, could be Partner Zoo and 2-rep would be a perfectly fine move. You could also just keep association at 5 to do Europe next round. Opponent doesn't cause the break, but they play Sea Turtle Tank, and this is actually pretty insane how much money this gives. This move caught me by surprise. But they sell 2 cards for 8, and then they place it down in the top corner here. And they get 6 from the map plus 3 from Hydrologist. This gave them 17 money, and all of a sudden they have enough to play like an animal or 2. So this is going to be Partner Zoo and 2-rep. Unfortunately, can't get rid of these big birds. Yeah, opponent does animals now. They can just draw this vulture from range. Play it immediately as well. The really cool thing about Sea Turtle Tank and Bard Owlhut is they actually synergize really well together. This vulture's giving like 2 extra cards, and then you can play the Slow Worm from display and sell only 1, right? No, Sunbathing 2, you can sell 2 of them. So Slow Worm is basically free to play. Just a good way to cycle through cards and get some extra points. I think when your opponent shows that they have an Aviary, playing Ornithologist does make sense. Both players really want the break coming up though. I guess Dwarven Time less so, because he can spend time getting association back up to 5 and animals up to 5. Opponent can take a full build action though, basically, with the money that they have. Yeah, they actually get money for building, which means they can stay in rounds nearly infinitely long. Size... Yeah, I don't know about this though. Size 2 and Pavilion to clever down cards. It is setting yourself up well for the last round. Size 2 you probably want anyway to play the Cobra and the Caracal, I guess. Opponent plays another sponsor though, and they have Explorer. Gives them another burst of 20 money. Most likely they just got it from Perception from Bard Owl Hut. Otherwise, I assume they would have played it earlier. Now all of a sudden, like, they want to stay in this round, and now it's up to Dwarven Time to cause the break. So I think this round is sort of the turning point. Dwarven Time had a massive lead, but now the opponent is nearly level on points and they have more money. They've got a lot of momentum just from Sea Turtle, Tank, and Explorer. And that's the thing when you're playing someone with upgraded sponsors. You have a lot of staying power in rounds, and if your opponent doesn't cause the break on you, you can catch up in waves like this. Anyway, Dwarven Time still does have 5 Europe to support. That is a huge advantage. Plus small animals is basically is going to be maxed out after the next animal action. So there are 2 big projects here. Like, the game is not that far away from ending. Unfortunately, no massive animal for the size 5 enclosure. Why is a special interesting? Opponent doesn't snap it up. They grab the P-Fowl. P-Fowl, yeah, P-Fowl is great for them. It's another Asia icon. They are closing it on 5. And it's a bird, obviously, for our Bard Owl Hut. Ah, but they have the elephant, of course. That does get them to 5. They also don't spend any X tokens, so they probably have a way to get this reputation, or they just have... Hello? I feel like I'm having deja vu here. So they luckily scavenged the eagle back with this vulture. That's pretty damn lucky. This is only scavenging 3. And it's not like it was early game this was played. Wow. And they're going to support... Yeah, Asia 5. What are they getting? 3 X tokens. The opponent has plans and they're in a hurry. Wow. This does mean that the opponent takes the appeal lead after that animal's action. So this is going to be successful hypnosis. Although not ideal. I guess you could hypnosis upgraded sponsors, but it kind of helps the opponent, right? That is a very, very good draw. That elephant into that size 5 is perfect. Also being able to snap up the zebra, playing both of them. Ooh, instead decides to play the bison with this hypnosis. I guess bison into zebra is not bad either. I mean, the main question is, does the game end next move? There's going to be Europe 5. Europe 5 plus extra university, potentially. That's already 7, so that gets to 88. And then small. I guess the game can end, like, within a move or 2. Opponent does draw the Stork. It is playable now. They also drew the Tassie Devil. So also pouching combos really well with a Bard Owl Hut. It's close. Okay, so it's going to be Europe 5 into extra turn, which is small animals. Small animals into 12 money. for a donation. Okay. And then the game ends. The game can end if you build over Player's Monster for money and play Adventure Playground. Opponent breaks 7 before that can happen. That means bad things coming. That can only mean bad things coming. That kind of tells you that another eagle's here. Oh, actually, no, I guess not. They could, interesting. Snaps up bird breeding. Just gets rid of the project. Yeah, now playing... Okay, actually plays Waza Special. The opponent just has an aviary, so that they don't have any empty size 5s. Like, the best they could do is project Eagle another project. But they would have to have all the pieces to do that. No constriction, but I mean, not a bad last action at all. This is plus 15 point last action. Unfortunately, no third animal to play there. So 112 is a good cross. How are the endgames looking? Probably wins Arcade. Not quite Tech Institute. Diverse species looking good as well, though. Yeah, I don't think there's any way that the opponent catches up on any of these. Maybe herbivores? Condor. Okay, if the opponent's playing animals first, it means that they guaranteed have the eagle. See what they scavenge up as well here. Of course, so that is the third eagle, and so they've played 4 extra actions, 3 eagles and a sun bear, and they're about to determination as well. Oh, and they still have the white stork to play as well, so they do have room for another animals action and money. They actually scavenged low mountain range back. So this game sort of feels like deja vu. We've seen the bald eagle twice, we've seen low mountain range twice, and they have migration recording. So basically, the 2 worst things that they could have scavenged, they got. And this is going to be determination into another animals action. All the way up to 5 for an extra appeal. Okay, Water Dragon's not too bad to see, but last action could be White Stork, something better. Oh, they're actually selling to negative cards. Just the Tamarin. Yeah, Tamarin is worth more. Doesn't help against species diversity. So it does look close right now. We have to remember the opponent has 2 end goals as well. They actually didn't fill up their map. And they actually didn't complete Hydrologist either. That must be a mistake. Like, surely at some stage you just build a size 1 and touch this. It is easy to miss these kind of things, but that's a mistake. So their end goals are really just Geologist and 2 Elephant end goals. Okay, Arcade. Large Animal and Climbing versus Diverse. Opponent wins 129 to 126. I have to say, I think Dwarven Time had a pretty big lead in the sort of early to mid game. But when you have 4 extra actions, it's really hard to keep up with that. Sorry, 5 extra actions compared to 1 extra action. I guess 2 Hypnosis does count. So yeah, I mean, fortunate small animal draw of the python, probably the most appeal you can get out of a small animal, I think. Maybe like a dingo would have been better, but I think it would have been the same. Just seeing the bald eagle twice and the low mountain range twice makes it a very iconic game. Well played from both players. That is all we're going to look at today, though. Thanks everyone for watching. Hopefully the internet's fixed before Sunday so I can stream normally, but it might not be. We'll see. But anyway, next Friday should be back to normal for replay analysis live. So see you all then. Have a good rest of the day.